A member of popular music group Brotherly Love becomes a victim of Philadelphia's gun violence. I'm Jason Martinez.
And I'm Dawn Timoney. A young life taken too soon. Our Kelly Rule has the very latest.
Family members of Jaleel Floyd were too devastated to talk with us today, but band members tell me he has 2 children, was expecting a third, and was simply visiting home at the time when he was executed.
Anytime he sang,
executed. Think about that.
To talk with us today, but band members tell me he has 2 children, was expecting a third, and was simply visiting home at the time when he was executed.
anytime he sang, you had to stop and listen.
Band member and close friend Jerron Noel describes 26-year-old Jaleel Floyd, known as Jaleel, as the heart of Brotherly Love. The South Philadelphia group performed for Fox 29 Good Day in 2014, a brotherhood now missing a key voice.
They executed my little brother, man. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Like, somebody just came up and executed him. Like, this guy's part of like a quartet. This isn't even a fucking rap group. These motherfuckers are like doing doo-wop, why do fools fall in? Like, they doing that shit. They fucking get executed in the street. This shit is, listen, man, the only reason that this is not the biggest story in the fucking country, what's going on in Blackistan, is because the woke left is, this country, this should be the biggest story in the country. Not this story in particular, but just the fact that you have one rapper dead somewhere in Blackistan. The next day, the fucking acapella guy gets fucking killed in another part of Blackistan. And probably tomorrow, another rapper will get killed.
But even worse is happening even in small towns. Look at that place, Bogalusa. They are terrorizing that small place. And they are not classified as domestic terrorists. It doesn't make any sense.
Because
terror.
Well, number one, it doesn't meet the definition of terrorism.
Okay, why are you saying that?
Violence for political.
I was about to say that there's no political element to what they're doing, so they're not.
Yeah, this is just
terrorists.
Foolishness. This is like literally like fucking if you throw some rice. Like, you ever have like some rice and you throw it out in the backyard and you just watch the pigeons come and fucking eat up the little rice? It's literally as natural to them as that. The pigeons descending on a fucking backyard full of stale rice granules. They just naturally kill each other. It's just natural.
Of Brotherly Love. The South Philadelphia group performed for Fox 29 Good Day in 2014, a brotherhood now missing a key voice.
They executed my little brother, man. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Like, he wasn't bothering nobody.
Noel says Foy, a father of 2, soon to be 3, recently moved to the West Coast, but was back in South Philadelphia this week visiting family. Police say they found Foy outside of a home on Siegel Street just before 7 p.m. last night.
You know, Siegel Street, this is a rough area. This is where Beanie Siegel, the rapper Beanie Siegel, he's named after this street. That's where he gets his name, Beanie Siegel. So it's like, this is a very, very rough area right here.
South Philadelphia this week visiting family. Police say they found Foy outside of a home on Siegel Street just before 7 p.m. last night with a gunshot wound to his neck. He died at the hospital. Noel says he was simply sitting on the step at the time.
This wasn't, some street activity. This is a casualty of a war he had nothing to do with.
So they're saying he didn't. And what do you guys think of that? Do you think he might have had some street activity, or you think the brother's telling the truth? We know what you think, man.
If he lives on the West Coast, he was probably just hanging with his old crew. If he lives on the West Coast now, he ain't doing shit in Philly. He just hanging with his old crew.
It's a tragedy, man.
He had nothing to do with it.
We actually started here on this block. Growing up here, I never thought that, our story would go this way.
Brotherly Love member King Kashif says the South Philly block where Foy's life was taken was where their story began in high school. Among their high-profile performances, singing for President Barack Obama during a visit to Philadelphia. The group has not performed together in a few years, but remain close and are now calling on the men in their hometown to step up.
Even if these kids is not your kids, like, I just feel like as men we have a duty that we're not.
Nah, there's no duty that men have to go and try to tell some fucking feral son teens anything. Don't do that. Those who don't listen to this guy, don't go and try to kick some fucking knowledge or fucking give some fucking life lessons to one of these son teens. They'll fucking rob you for your fucking trouble or fucking kill you for your trouble.
Fulfilling right now, and it's our youth are hurting.
Philadelphia police are still investigating Foy's murder, and they are asking anybody with video or additional information to come forward. In South Philly.
Wow.
But do you notice that no one ever
Just
holds
1
their
minute a
mothers
day.
accountable for this? He says
No
that
one
other
ever
men,
what?
no one ever holds their mothers accountable for raising these evil people. Because what happens is he's talking about other men need to step up. No, why not say, hey, who are these women that are producing these children?
Well, I think that everyone knows. I think people kind of know intuitively, subconsciously, that this is just DNA. This is
Black women are the most protected species in the United States.
Right,
Yeah.
never held accountable. Never held accountable.
No, but I think people kind of know that this is DNA. This is not like there's nothing that's causing this. This is just them being them. This is their natural state. Yes, exacerbating things like what you're talking about may exacerbate it, but I think people pretty much know that these guys have been in bold. Like we saw the stat the other day on Rising Crime News channel. They had 130 murders this year to date in 2014. This year they have 300 at this date. So like they've more than doubled their murders since 2014. Then if you just take it from 2019, I think they had maybe 180 at this year to date. I mean, at this date of that year. And then now, like I said, now they have 300. So there's this, not only is the level of black crime already going to be infinitely higher than all the other groups combined, but this emboldening of them knowing that, them seeing that damn, an old fucking crackhead junkie, because they know who Floyd is, they know who Rayshard Brooks is, they know who Jacob Blake is. They're not pasty liberals. They know that's the fucking old unk at the store that they flinch at and tell them, move out the way, you bitch ass nigga, and while they walking in the store. He like, younger man. Hey, younger man, can you got a couple dollars for me, man? Nah, man, I gave you $1 the other day. Go get a job, you old ass motherfucker. And he like, oh man, go ahead, man. Oh man. Hey, nephew. You got a couple dollars for me over there, nephew? Oh man. They know that's who the fuck George Floyd was, and they seen that the whole world would stop for him. These motherfuckers have been fucking. I don't think the world knows. I don't think America knows what they did. These motherfuckers think they're the shit. They the real Sunday.
AK, that's your imitation of George Floyd?
I know George Floyd. I know a bunch of George Floyds. I know.
I mean the original King. I mean Fentanyl.
Yeah, I
Saint.
know.
The name keeps changing.
I know a lot of George Floyd. I know when I used to sell weed in the hood, George Floyd's would bring me phones to sell because I always had money, so they always knew that I had cash. You know what I'm saying? They would bring me stuff to sell me stuff. George Floyd type dudes would always sell me stuff, bikes they stole, different Percocets. They went to the hospital because they're always going to the hospital and getting like ibuprofen, like the big 1,000 milligram ibuprofens and shit. They're selling me all types of shit, guns, old pistols and shit, 6-shooters and shit. But they would always come to me trying to like sell me something, and I would, look out for them just like I did the youngers. I'd buy that shit even if I was never going to use it. Sometimes, if I could, I'd buy that shit. I'd be like, all right, here, man, $10 for that shit. Blah blah.
You have the right to remain silent.
But I know a lot of George Floyd's from just my days, and I know how these type street dudes see him and how they see him in comparison to themselves. They see themselves here and they see him down here. And they saw the entire world stop on a dime and shut itself down and go in a conniption, a collective conniption, because he, got pressed out, as they would call it, got pressed out by the cops. That spoke to their psyche to where, like, well, I'm better than that. They see themselves as a better person than him because they're higher ranking on the Negro, on the Sunman food chain. So they're just completely emboldened by that.
Well, that and you add in a woke police chief, a woke fucking DA, and a woke mayor, and a woke city council, and this is what you get. Just the DA has caused probably half of this himself.
Yeah, no doubt. But what I'm saying is that, yeah, the DA and all those things haven't helped. But this escalation nationwide is a product of the Blackistanian Spring and the summer of Floyd. And as long as and so is the DAs and all that other stuff. That's also products of it too. But that Sunman attitude of like, yo, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm the arrogance that they move with. They move with an arrogance now, a heightened arrogance that's just like in their step. They move with a brazenness, with a boldness, with a gumption.
Well, that sun ego, that sun self-esteem has been artificially inflated so much that now it's rampaging around every major American city like fucking Godzilla.
Exactly, and they don't possess the ability to self-regulate or control their impulses. So it's you're seeing something like just it's like a hose. Like if you just put the water on full blast, the hose just flails. That's a lot of power, but it's not directed anywhere. And listen, man. I know that these dudes know who George Floyd is. Like, they not looking at George Floyd the way pasty white liberals look at George Floyd. Regardless of all this shit. Even with all this shit, even though they might not say it, in their mind's mind, they know that he's, nephew, can I get a quarter, man? You got a quarter, nephew? Oh, man. Oh, why I gotta be all them bitches, nephew? Younger, you got it.
They're like, fuck, when he pulls up.
Yeah. I mean, they're not even like, oh, fuck. He's no threat to them.
He's just annoying, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's zero threat. He better not make one of them, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, it's like pasty liberals have, like, look at him like a god, kind of like a deity. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and pro-blacks look at him like a deity. So these people, well, let's see what else is going